I've seen so many mixed opinions on this movie. It kind of made me feel inclined to watch it. And after watching it, I can definitely say that this movie requires both proper cognitive function and your undivided attention. Now, there's about 3 sides to this criticism offered to this movie. I'll be diving into each and every single one of them fairly, explaining them, and then stating where I stand. Do note that this video is based off of my analysis. Some of the things I'll say are probably true, while some might be purely thoughts ringing in the air. Take what I say with a grain of salt, but do allow yourself to enjoy the video. Cackle, giggle, howl even. Thank you for tuning in. The first criticism, or not a criticism, more so reasoning. This is a Kane Parsons, or more known as Kane Pixels, movie. What do people mean when they state it's a Kane Parsons movie? Well, what they mean is, he is the most prominent adapter of the Backrooms. All of the lore, implications, entities, rooms, and everything else that is adjacent to the adaptation ultimately falls on his blueprint or design. And I agree with this, because he adapted it. I don't think it's a confusing idea to understand. From what I remember, Kane Parsons only ever featured one infinite level for the Backrooms in his entries on YouTube. This is notably where the Backrooms became famous for its eeriness, odd and unsymmetrical environment, and its quote-unquote liminality. However, fans began putting in their own fair share of work and expanding upon the idea of the Backrooms, adding levels such as the pool rooms, the infinite garage, the infinite suburbs, or that one never-ending street with random electric lines and overarching towers. The problem with that is, it generated more people expecting the Backrooms to be more in line with the fan creations rather than what Kane Parsons had originally adapted. And that was a big letdown for a lot of people who were looking forward to this movie. Does that sound pretty stupid? Yes, and this directly ties in with the third side of criticism, which I will get to soon. The second criticism: the story, the horror, and environment. Now this is where I would say the content of the movie gets pretty juicy. The Backrooms nailed the eeriness and the environment of the level without a shadow of a doubt. I personally enjoyed its accuracy, its oddities, and everything else the environment contributed to the movie. That being said, it kinda branches and breaks off there. A lot of people knack at the narrative of the Backrooms as well as the horror aspects of it, which I would say that's pretty fair, only to a certain degree. The horror, I agree, but you can't really do much about it considering the only horror that ever occurs within the Backrooms, both on YouTube and in the movie, is chase scenes and random jump scares with explosions, for some reason. Many people can say that is weak, and yeah, I agree with that. The horror in the movie is weak. There really isn't an argument against it. However, where I see issues rise is with the narrative. After walking out of the movie theater, I left with a pretty basic understanding of the movie. The Backrooms acts as almost a living storage unit that feeds off of the memories of many, creating structures, peoples, items, rooms, etc. But there's more to it than just that. Look at Clark, for instance, when he first discovered the Backrooms. He didn't think to call any officials, have the building inspected, or go to an emergency room or a psych ward with the idea that he's going batshit. Or go to an emergency room or a psych ward with the idea that he's going batshit. He instead explores. The first thing he sees is piles of furniture. As he explores further, he sees familiar things. Stop sign, another chair, more chairs, some more chairs. Either ways, it is only until something beelines the fuck out of a chair that he decides to get out. But not before snatching another chair. Then he goes further in, explores more, and begins coinciding with this feeling of familiarity in this place that fed off of his memory. There's still so much more that I could pick at, such as how the movie is a representation of keeping your mental state intact and healthy as opposed to gating yourself. But to save you the time and effort in explaining them, just go and watch the movie. That is, if you're interested, of course. The third criticism: expectations. This is the one I genuinely have aneurysms thinking about. It amazes me that people genuinely thought this movie was going to be one of two things. Either a deep dive into the fan-made editions of the Backrooms, which, if you didn't know, Kane Parsons never legitimized any of these levels in his adaptations, though some of them do make slight appearances in the movie. Or that the movie is gonna look like a fucking Gmod level with Kanye West Nextbots chasing you until you die. There are genuine fuck nuggets who expected the movie to be like some Roblox adaptations. How imbecilic do you have to be to expect that? Roblox? Now, the part I'm sure nobody was waiting for. Where do I stand in all of this? I actually agree with the expectations of, oh, okay, damn, I'm sorry. Shit. In all seriousness though, I do agree with both the first and second sets of criticism. I think that this movie did indeed lack a lot of its horror elements, for better or worse.
Oh my god, oh gee.
But I also can't say that it deserves to be superbly slandered for that. Keep in mind, I didn't say you couldn't criticize it. There really wasn't much horror you could do with this unless you wanted to bring in fan editions, which, well, I still don't think it's going to save the horror aspect. As for the narrative, I believe it goes as deep as you want it to. When I said you needed to stay attentive through the movie, that was to intake the face value narrative. After the movie ended, you can analyze it deeper for more meaning, understanding, characters, and putting together more and more pieces. Though ultimately, that's if you have the patience for it. Most people go to the movies to watch whatever they want to watch, and then leave with the experience intact for like 15 minutes. I could be wrong, but I believe The Backrooms was a film for the people who were very interested in the YouTube series. It is a lot more cryptic compared to horror movies like Get Out and Weapons, which I think is kind of the reason why a lot of people rank its narrative low. Either ways, I didn't have too much of a hard time understanding the story. If you didn't understand from that gigantic paragraph I just read to you, here it is in short. Or poopy, but kind of expected. Narrative, decent, but only if you pay attention and look into it more. That's about it. If you enjoyed the video, I'll kindly ask that you leave a like and probably subscribe, but that's entirely on you. Thank you for watching. And until next time, see ya.